Don't be scared, they don't bite. Let's have another look at a different compressor. You know, every compressor does the same job but sounds completely different, right? So, you know, you might have one of these guys, one of these guys, or one of these guys. They'll all compress, but they'll do it differently and they'll sound differently. Each box will have a character. That's why, you know, you walk into a big studio, there's racks and racks and racks of this stuff, because everything has a specific job, everything has a specific sound, and people will, you know, reach for specific units to create a specific sound. You know, I mean, oftentimes an engineer or producer would decide to run something through a unit, even with the unit not doing anything, just because it has a specific sound. So let's have a look at this DBX 160. Good old timer. See it in a lot of vintage places. And again, as you can see, fairly simple to use. It's got how much you want to compress something, from nothing to infinity, which is like severe limiting. You have output gain, which on a lot of boxes is called makeup gain, because, you know, when you compress you lose a bit of gain because you're taking the level down, so you find you might have to boost that up a little bit. And then this unit has a threshold, so this is going to tell you when am I going to start compressing. You know, once I go over that particular point, that's when you start slamming my signal down. So I've got it set for 3:1, general, very gentle compression ratio. I've got it on an acoustic guitar, which is quite dynamic. So generally I won't compress that guitar because of the sound of the song, and, you know, I want it to keep its organic life. I don't want to squeeze the life out of it. But just to demonstrate this, it's quite a dynamic part, so there's lots of finger picking going on, and then there's big strums, so you can hear where the compressor is going to squeeze it a little bit. So I've set it just to take those peaks out, and then you can have a listen and see what it does to the signal. So we'll have a listen with it out. So threshold all the way up, so it's going to be all good to go. So let's hit it. All right, so here we go. The track's running. You can see it's not indicating that it's above the threshold, so the signal is just running through it. If I go to the input, you can see we have level going in. Go back to gain reduction, and now I'll just bring it in gradually. You'll see this above light up. There we go. So now he's grabbing the peaks of the guitar. Whenever he goes above it, we'll see a little bit of compression happening here. Let's make it a little bit more interesting here, a little bit more obvious. So this is going to sound very pumpy, because this is quite an aggressive compressor, so you'll hear whenever he reaches that peak, it's just going to go, whoo, it's going to choke the sound a little bit. So it's a great compressor on bass, for example. It really keeps bass tight, and to me it has a bit of an edge to it as well, so it'll add like a harmonic distortion to the bass, which might be great on smaller speakers because it'll pop the bass out a little bit more. So there we go, it's working away quite nicely. And that's the DBX 160. Again, a couple of plug-in versions of it which actually behave very much like this box. I know I keep mentioning them, but, you know, UAD got it right. You know, even to the harmonic content, you know, the distortion, if you drive it, you know, it gets quite bitey, which is really nice. There you go and try it out. Don't be scared, they don't bite. Let's have another look at a different compressor. You know, every compressor, EQ, if you can find one, you're gonna you're going to pay through the nose. I'm going to say it's worth it because it